I got this email. Yes, I know it's cold outside. Yes, I know it's hard, but I used to go out. I used to go to the yoga studio. I have a fridge magnet from the yoga studio, in fact, but I haven't gone in 8 months. I'm divorced. I'm in my late 40s. I'm smart and capable and the kind of woman people describe as strong. And here's the thing. She said, I haven't going out. I feel invisible. I'm looking at dating and I don't know what it is to do. I really don't know where it goes. And what I'm seeing with women especially is they just disappear. They decide to rest. They simplify, they protect their peace, and then they become what's called agoraphobic, where it's not a fear of going out, but it's stop saying yes unless you know who's going to be there. You stop flirting with guys in the elevator who smell nice. It's just because you feel exposed. And the shift you didn't notice is you didn't just remove the drama, you removed the friction. And friction is where the fun is. It's where the attraction lives. And independence crosses that line and becomes invisible. And I see it over and over and over again. I'm talking to people about what do you do after the apps? I said you talk to people in line. It's when nobody can see you when you're not in motion, when you're not practicing, when you're not doing something, even if you're making eye contact and you're going to places where there are people. And the thing is that's where I'm seeing most people right now. They're not broken, they're not heartbroken, they're just absent. I wrote a book called The Dating Comeback, and it was basically because I haven't seen people. I ran groups for more than 15 years, and there's a whole bunch that say, I can't do this. They've just disappeared. They start getting their groceries delivered, and that's a challenge, right? The real problem isn't confidence, it's circulation. So are you out of circulation? Where are you at with that? So how do you come up with a new act? What's next for you? Let me tell you what changed Diana. And it wasn't a dating app, and it wasn't a makeover, and it wasn't a pep talk. This is Diana and people like her. It was a Thursday night pottery class she almost skipped. And in our area, we do a Thursday night dating support group where they give you free cookies and really yummy, red velvet cake. And the parking is kind of annoying, but if you show up late and you're trying to figure it out, but she did, right? Woody Allen said, I'm not normally quote, but 90% of life is showing up. Just because you're there, that's the change, right? That's the piece that you want to get going, right? The vision is, how do we start? So I'm going to do this YouTube because my very dear friend Jim says I have something to say about that. And I've been a therapist for more than 30 years. And what goes on is when I see people have a sense of themselves, their posture changes, their voice changes, not because you find love, but because you find presence. And people are trying to connect. The guys I'm talking to are saying, well, we're invisible too, Sue. I have to swipe a zillion times in order to have somebody have coffee with me, and then they stand me up. And the women are saying, I got stood up twice, and then I got dick pics. And what's the issue? The issue is that, honestly, the people on the dating apps can be, I used to call it the Kmart version of dating. It's the lowest common denominator. And there are, without exaggeration, when I was polling it, more than 50% of people are fake. So let me land that again. 50%. So I run a Facebook group for over 40 dating in one mid-sized city, more than 1 million people. And we, in the scope of our week, delete more than 100 fake profiles in one Facebook group in one city. The apps are riddled. If you're not paying for them, even if you are, they'll pay that because they realize the algorithm for them is that they pay a little bit of money and they find enough women that they can convince to send. That's the piece. So we want to look at step by step and figure out, how do we do this? So I got a plan. I have a plan. And we're going to do step by step. So I do something called practice dating with people, and I get them on Zoom calls. And I love Zoom calls because I call them the sub-zero date. And right now it's sub-zero outside and it's freezing. See the outside? It's freezing, cold and snowy. And the piece is, it's so awful that you don't want to go out. But I love the idea of a quick Zoom check-in. If it's practice, if it's low energy, what happens is your central nervous system calms down and you're able to have a connection with somebody. You're able to talk to them. Even if that person is 20 years older than you and you would never really date them, you get better. Everybody will tell you, and any HR person will tell you, you take the interview because you get skills you don't get anywhere else. You learn what you're good at, you learn how to answer questions, you get confident, you can have you can do that. If you can't think on your feet, it's a process. And yeah, you get sick of telling the same story. And yes, you get tired of meeting people. But if you're doing it, without pants in your house, you only have to do you can do 3 of those a week. And I'm telling you, if one of them clicks, then you're saying, can we schedule coffee? And I like coffee because it allows you to see what's going on. It's, again, low energy, low effort. Bring your central nervous system down. If you think it's supposed to be all that and more, your anxiety is going to be up. But if you're saying, I'm going to get coffee, I'm going to see how they treat the barista, I'm going to be in a space where we can have a legitimate conversation, because you're probably not going to get a dick pic at a coffee shop. You're probably not going to get somebody who's doing what I call this, where they grab you and you have that feeling of needy. So what you do is you take your hands off like this, like this, like this, and you go and do something else. Because if you can do that, you don't have that needy, you're going to hump my leg feeling. And those pieces are what we're going to talk about. So I've been saying about the manosphere, and I got blasted on TikTok for saying that. But I'm going to post some posts about some of these guys and tell them what I think they're spot on and what I think they're out to fucking lunch with. Because, excuse the language, but come on. And some of these women who are the little princesses, I follow a couple of Eastern European girls about how to meet a rich husband because they're hilarious. But they're not real. They're not authentic. And they're not what you're doing over 40. Over 40 is you want somebody you can go to the theater with. And I don't believe that one person meets all your needs. I don't. I actually think women need 3 guys in their life. One that comes over and changes the light bulbs, that you're friends with a bit of flirt. One that you're banging because everybody needs their oil changed. And one you're interested in that you're not banging. So if you do those 3 things, if you have those 3 guys, and for men, they want a variety of women. And if you meet a variety of women who are chill, who are going to have a really long up ramp, that's going to change things. So have a look at what that means for you. This is what this YouTube channel is going to be. I'm going to talk a little bit at a time, and I'm going to tell you what I see from running groups every day who are over 40, who are trying to connect, and what I've done for the last 30 years. The dating comeback. If you check out over40connect.com, it has all of the details, and for a cup of coffee a month, you can join and get some of the cool stuff, including my training program, which is, years in the making, and it's free, included in the Over 40 Connect. So come join us, follow this, do your thing. I'm Sue, and I got more.